Welcome to another session of Skill Matters. I hope all of you are doing well. So last time we discussed about few pillars of the effective communication, but now today, as I have promised previously, I would be focusing more on the first skill that you require to communicate effectively. मतलब आपको अच्छे से कम्युनिकेट करने के लिए जो स्किल आपको सबसे ज़्यादा हेल्प करेगा या फिर जो बेसिक स्किल है उसके बारे में आज बात करेंगे, एंड दैट इज़ लिसनिंग स्किल्स. सो हमेशा हम लोग को याद करना चाहिए, ये याद रखना चाहिए कि लिसनिंग इज़ मोर इम्पॉर्टेंट while you are focusing on your communication, because if you don't understand what the other person is saying and things which are said or not said, then you will not be able to grasp it and respond accordingly. So जब भी आप किसी से भी कम्युनिकेट करोगे आपको अच्छे से सुनना होगा ही होगा, otherwise there is no way that you can communicate effectively. So before we proceed further, let's discuss about what is listening. Listening का मतलब क्या है? Listening का मतलब ये है, जैसे कि let me give an example. So it's about understanding the message that you are getting from the other person, right? So there is a sender who sends a message, and you being the listener is a receiver, right? So sender और receiver ये दो इंसान यहाँ पे इन्वॉल्व है. सेंडर जो भी मैसेज भेजता है आप उसको डीकंस्ट्रक्ट करते हो, ताकि डीकंस्ट्रक्शन का मतलब यहाँ पे to understand it properly you focus on what the other person is saying. There might be a lot of things that are said, but you need to grasp the important parts of it and then try and focus to reply accordingly as per the expectation of the sender, right? So अगर आप इस चीज़ को सही से करना चाहोगे तो आपको कुछ चीज़ें याद रखना पड़ेगा. पहला चीज़ तो लिसनिंग, जब हम लोग दो वर्ड है जो कि बहुत सिमिलर है, जैसे कि एक है आपका हियरिंग और एक है लिसनिंग. सो ये जो दो वर्ड है, डोंट यू थिंक दीज आर क्वाइट सिमिलर? हम लोग तो कभी कभार इस दोनों वर्ड्स को यूज़ कर लेते हैं एक ही पर्पस के लिए, बट देयर इज़ अ बेसिक डिफरेंस दैट यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड. हियरिंग इज़ अ फिजिकल प्रोसेस. Hearing is a physical process. For example, even when you are sleeping or going to sleep, you are not really focused on something. You tend to hear a lot of things. It can be a noise, it can be like a song, or it can be some music which is just coming from a different place. So lot many things, right? But when you talk about listening, it's a process where you put focus and pay attention to the words spoken by the other person. So ये दोनों जो words है ये बहुत अलग words है. The meanings are different, right? So listening skills आपको improve करना पड़ेगा, और उसके लिए आपको ये दोनों का difference अच्छे से दिमाग में रख देना है कि आप जब भी बात करोगे you are not going to hear the person out. No, you need to listen to the person. तभी आप अच्छे से respond कर पाओगे, right? अब ये जब लिसनिंग प्रोसेस में बहुत सारा बैरियर्स होता है, जैसे डे इन डे आउट व्हेन यू गो टू योर ऑफिस और गो टू योर स्कूल्स, कॉलेजेस, और व्हेन यू आर टॉकिंग टू योर फ्रेंड्स, देयर माइट बी अ लॉट ऑफ बैरियर्स. इट कैन बी इंटरनल, इट कैन बी एक्सटर्नल. Probably while you are at office, or going in a chit chat session with your friends, probably you can find that a lot of noise outside of while you are standing on a road, or there might be a movie playing at side which is actually distracting you, or there might be some internal thoughts that you are really into. You are mentally disturbed, or you are thinking too much on something. So even if you are trying to communicate with the other person or a larger audience, you are not able to concentrate on the words which are being spoken, right? So ये सब बैरियर्स जो है, आपको अच्छा लिसनर होने के लिए ये सब बैरियर्स को आपको जितना हो सके, जो भी आपके हाथ में, थिंग्स विच यू कैन कंट्रोल, फॉर एग्जाम्पल द इंटरनल कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स दैट यू माइट फेस, दैट इज कंट्रोलेबल बाय यू. सो उसको जितना आप मतलब वी आर ऑल ह्यूमन बींग्स, आई अंडरस्टैंड कि ऐसा नहीं होगा कि हर वक्त आप एक सिचुएशन में रहोगे कि आप पूरा 100% कॉन्सेंट्रेट कर रहे हो एक चीज़ के ऊपर. ये पॉसिबल हर वक्त नहीं भी हो सकता है. सो बट यू नीड टू ट्राई एंड give it the best shot to be a good listener. Then only the effectiveness of communication would come. So इसमें बहुत फोकस आपको रखना पड़ेगा. अब एक जो ट्रिक जो आपको शायद हेल्प कर सकता है, जो मैं आपको बताऊंगा, वो है जो भी वर्ड्स हम लोग लिखते हैं या बोलते हैं, जो भी वर्ड्स, तो उस पे एक दो चीज़ें हैं, दो इम्पोर्टेंट फैक्टर्स है जिस पे अगर आप इफ यू ट्राई एंड फोकस, it will be immensely helpful. For example, there are two things. One is called structure words and the other one is content words. So ये structure words और content words ये क्या है? What are these? See, whenever a sentence is formed or a sentence is spoken, there you cannot build a sentence without these words, right? For example, I am going to the school. I am going to the school, right? So इसमें structure words कौन सा है? Structure words are those which are primarily helping you build the sentence. They are more onto the grammatical part of sentence construction. So for example here, am is a structure word, to and the, these two are also structure words. जो भी words में आपको कोई भी information मिलता है, मतलब जैसे कि I am going to the school. Who is going to the school? It's me, right? So I. So what am I doing? I'm going. So that is talking about one particular work that I'm doing. I'm not dancing. I'm not eating, I'm going, right? So that is an information. I'm going where? I'm going to the school. So school is also another informative word. So I, going and school. ये जो तीन words है, ये सब content words है. जब भी आप, whenever you are listening, you are talking to someone, definitely you need to focus, be attentive, to be a better or effective communicator, but focus on the content words, because the moment you would be able to catch the content words, you would understand that you are actually able to grasp the primary ingredients of the statements which are being spoken by the other person or a larger audience. You can communicate to them also, whichever the case be. So always be focused on the content words to be an effective speaker, right? Effective communicator. Now, few things that I would like to focus on. I'll try and keep this session very short and crisp, so that you don't need to spend a lot of time to grasp the etiquettes of communicative English or effective communication, right? So as I was discussing about the listening skills, few things that you can keep in mind that actually going to help you a lot to be a good speaker. So first of all, while you are talking to a person, so you need to, when you are listening to the person or even when you are communicating, whichever the case be, you need to keep an eye contact. It is important. So eye contact is very, very important, because if you are not keeping an eye contact, the other person might feel that you are not giving that much of importance to whatever he or she is saying, right? So even if I'm not asking to stare like this, but yes, I'm saying that at least try and have an eye contact while speaking. You cannot just look at the wall and then speak. And I was thinking and all. For example, the way I'm talking to you now, I'm trying to keep an eye contact to my audience, right? So that's how you need to speak. Yes, I'm looking here and there, at times, but then that's about it. You need to have eye contact at least 60% of the duration that you guys are communicating. That is primary thing that you need to focus on. And remember, while speaking or while listening, both, you need to ensure that you are keeping an eye contact. Next is posture. I understand that posture is not a very indispensable ingredient of listening, but it matters, especially when you are talking face to face, you are communicating face to face. Posture does matter. So you can have a positive posture. I mean, the way you are sitting or the way you are when you are talking to one person face to face, especially during the interviews and all, try and have a posture that is straight. You are sitting straight, and try and have an eye contact. So these two would actually help you. These two are complementary to each other. So you need to have a good posture, positive posture, that cannot be measured. Posture is something that cannot be measured. You would understand yourself, right? The way, I mean, try and emulate or try and mirror the posture that you would prefer when you are speaking, right? Suppose you are speaking to your brother or your sister or your friend or your colleague on a specific subject, and you find the posture of the other person is annoying. So you wouldn't feel, but you would only be able to tell which posture is actually appropriate as per your thought process. So you may emulate that also. And apart from that, you can also do with this, mirror the other person's posture, the way the person is speaking. You can actually put some focus and try and emulate the same thing. That can also be done while you are listening to the person. So that actually helps you give proper importance to the other person, right? Third comes the obvious thing, that is, be attentive. That is a very necessary thing. I mean, you need to be very attentive. Always, you need to be focused on that part, right? So attention, providing attention to whatever you are doing is a primary thing to accomplishing one particular thing in a proper way, right? So while listening, as I said, and as I said previously, focus on content words, right? Content words are the key things. You need to be very focused on the content words, right? So as I said, so if I say now, to wrap it up quickly, external and internal barriers, try and get rid of those, right, as much as possible. External barriers might not be in your hand all the time, so try and get rid of those as much as possible, especially the ones which are internal to you. Eye contact, always keep an eye contact while speaking. Have a good posture, positive posture, while you are dealing with your audience or the other person who is speaking, right? Next is attention. Be attentive while you are talking or while you are listening. Throughout the overall process of communication, you need to be attentive. That's about it. And last but not the least, as I said, focus on the content words to understand the flow of the communication in a better way, right? So I think, as I said previously also, communicate करने के लिए जो तरीके हैं, first and foremost comes listening skills. आपको अच्छा communicator होने के लिए, you need to be a good listener first, okay? So इसका जो basic चीज़ें हैं, वो मैंने आपको explain किया. Now, the thing that you need to be very careful to accomplish everything. Always keep in mind, let the other person finish. Don't interrupt. Until and unless, obviously, you are in a debate session, but then always ensure that to let the other person speak properly or is a key thing to understand the other person properly, right? So, if you want to be a good listener, always have patience. Try and let the other person finish. Then you understand, grasp it, and then you would be able to respond accordingly, right? So that's how you can become a good listener. And always remember, a good listener is always, or most of the times, a good speaker, a person who can respond quite well. So with this, I'm going to close today's session. Thank you so much for being there. And if you like my session, if you like my content, do like and subscribe. and stay with Skill Matters. Thank you.